Men in Black, protecting the Earth from the scum of the universe.
Hey everyone, I'm John, and today we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite sci-fi comedies from 1997, that's Men in Black, and its brand new 25th anniversary 4K Steelbook from Best Buy. And also, if you're here for the digital code giveaway, that's going to be at the end of this video, so if you don't want to watch our review, just scroll to the end and you can find out if you were the lucky winner of this week's digital code giveaway. But first, before we dive into all of that, if you are a fan of 4K Blu-ray reviews, film reviews, TV reviews, video game reviews, we try and do them all here on this channel, and nothing helps us out more than by liking this video and hitting that subscribe button. So Men in Black was released on 4th of July weekend, July 2nd, 1997, and it cost $90 million to make and made over $590 million at the box office, becoming the third highest grossing film of 1997. It's directed by Barry Sonnenfeld and stars Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith, and Vincent D'Onofrio. And this movie, let me tell you, in 1997 was a juggernaut. Now, I was only 5 years old in 1997, but I saw this in the movies and I could not wait to get the VHS. I fell in love with this movie. Looking at it now, after watching it yesterday, I realized I was definitely way too young to see this movie, but it's still a fantastic movie. Barry Sonnenfeld, who directed this film, actually worked with the Coen brothers before this. Before he directed the first two Addams Family movies in the early 90s, he actually worked with the Coen brothers as their cinematographer. He was the cinematographer for their movies Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, and we have a review on this channel for Miller's Crossing, which I think he did an amazing job on. He's a great cinematographer, but apparently he has a thing for comedy because after he made the Addams Family movies, he dove right into the Men in Black trilogy and Wild Wild West. And I personally really do enjoy his work, and I really particularly enjoy this movie. For a sci-fi comedy and what is mostly just considered a summer blockbuster, this is an extremely well-made, well-acted, well-directed film. It looks gorgeous. There is great attention to detail. The special effects are amazing. For 1997, this is where, before they started just making movies with CGI, this is a combination of special effects and Rick Baker practical effects, so it actually combines to make a movie look good. It's kind of like what they did with Jurassic Park. Instead of just being overly reliant on the special effects, or the CGI rather, which they did have help from Industrial Light and Magic to make the CGI look good. And I think for the most part, the CGI, the special effects hold up amazingly. 25 years later, it's incredible how good this stuff looked, especially on Vincent D'Onofrio's Edgar skin, as they were calling it, or the Edgar suit, because in the beginning of the movie, Edgar, who's played by Vincent D'Onofrio, a spaceship slams into his truck, which he loves, and the bug gets out, skins him, and starts wearing his skin as a suit. And in the beginning, it looks alright, but as the film goes on, it gets more and more decrepit and disgusting and dirty, and that's just special effects and practical effects done perfectly, and I just love that little attention to detail as the movie's going on, and by the end, he's just gross and grimy and dirty. I thought that was awesome. But obviously, besides Vincent D'Onofrio's awesome and underrated performance in this movie, you got the leads of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. And I recently read an interview with Barry Sonnenfeld where he said that Tommy Lee Jones was a little upset playing off of Will Smith because Will Smith got to be the comedian, and Tommy Lee Jones wanted to be funny, but he had to be the straight man, and Barry Sonnenfeld had to tell Tommy Lee Jones' agent, being the straight man is funny. It's gonna work. Everyone needs to play off of somebody. So eventually they did settle into their roles, and I think it worked perfectly. Tommy Lee Jones is awesome in this movie. I really do love his character as Kay in this movie. I think he does a great job. Him and Will Smith have amazing chemistry. Obviously, Will Smith gets to chew the scenery a little more, but Tommy Lee Jones' character does work perfectly off of Will Smith's Jay. I think it's done very well. I think Tommy Lee Jones is actually perfectly cast in this movie, and so is Will Smith. But Tommy Lee Jones is the one who usually gets forgotten about compared to Will Smith, because this is considered a Will Smith movie mainly, but Tommy Lee Jones is just as good. Don't skip over him, and I don't know why you would. This is an Academy Award winning actor, and he does a great job, but obviously Will Smith is the star. This is right in the middle of his 4th of July run of movies. In 95 you had Bad Boys, in 96 you had Independence Day, and in 97 you had Men in Black. This guy ruled 4th of July weekend forever. This was the box office king. Something no one saw coming. He would hang on to that crown all the way through 1999 when another Barry Sonnenfeld film came out, Wild Wild West, a film I personally like but gets just torn apart now, but I do really enjoy Wild Wild West, and This is also around the time when Will Smith was actually making theme songs for his movies, so you had the Men in Black theme, which is awesome. I was a big fan of that. I had the CD as a kid. So, for me, this movie checked all the boxes. This is a big John movie. I love this movie. I watch it all the time. This is the first time I've actually seen it in 4K, but I watch this movie at least once a year. It's one of my personal favorites. It's just really enjoyable. It's really funny. The script is tight. You know, it moves along at a perfect pace. You're never bored. It's never slow. There's actually even some great emotional scenes, such as the scene on the bench when he's telling him about the job and he explains how the world works. And he has a great line in there, a line that's always stuck with me. A bunch of lines actually in this have always stuck with me. Just looking at humanity, and in a comedy, it's really crazy. But when he says, he's like, a person is smart, but people are stupid. They're crazy, they're chaotic, and they don't think. And he also says, like, explains how humans think. You know, 15,000 years ago, we were sure that we were the center of the universe. 1,000 years ago, we knew that the sun was the center of our galaxy. And it just shows how, as humans, we have to evolve and grow and learn. And I thought for a scene in a Men in Black movie, that was just really awesome, and I loved to see it. And it's just another thing that makes this movie stand out in a crowd of movies that really is something that I'll always pull off my shelf and I'll always watch. And we can forget about the 3 sequels because I don't particularly enjoy any of them. If I had to pick one, I do enjoy Men in Black 3 the best, but really, at least Men in Black celebrating its 25th anniversary. I believe in 25 years we'll still be talking about Men in Black as one of the great sci-fi comedies that we've ever gotten. But we're not just here to talk about the film, we're also here to talk about its 4K Blu-ray release. So in honor of its 25th anniversary, Best Buy has put out an exclusive 4K Steelbook of Men in Black, and I had to grab it because all I had in my collection was this very old Blu-ray. Actually, as you can see, it's very old. It's got introducing high definition, so that's a very old Blu-ray, so I felt like I had to upgrade. I don't have any other ones except for Men in Black. I don't have 2, 3, or International. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of those movies. I think they got it right once, and they kept trying, but I do love the first one, so I had to get the 4K Steelbook. I couldn't wait. I thought it looked pretty good, the artwork, so I was like, I'll grab it. I did know that, and it should be noted, though, that this is not a new scan. This is the same scan, so if you have a 4K Blu-ray, I believe it came out in 2017, it was in a trilogy set, so if you have that with 1, 2, and 3 and those 4Ks, it's the same scan, but there is one big difference, and that's now we have Dolby Vision. So the old scan had HDR10 on it, that was it. It didn't have Dolby Vision, so they finally added Dolby Vision to it. This is Sony. Sony owns Columbia Pictures, who distributed this originally, so it's a Sony 4K Blu-ray, so they have the best technology. So they slapped Dolby Vision on here, re-released it on its own in its own Steelbook. You could still get that 4K trilogy set, but you won't get the version that has this in it unless they do re-release it with this version in it. But I thought it looked pretty good, I'm going to be honest. As far as visuals go, it wasn't like at the beginning, the opening scene where they pull over the one van and that's when we first see Kay and his old partner. I thought that scene looked gorgeous. Now then we went to the second scene where we first meet Will Smith and he's chasing the one alien, and I was like, okay, this doesn't look as good. And then especially in a later scene where we first get to see Jay trying out for the Men in Black with all the other soldiers and everything and his red jacket, it looked flat in that scene, and in that scene also the skin tone looked kind of like, I guess the best way to describe it was kind of like very like whitewashed in a way, because everybody's kind of skin kind of looked flat, the jacket and the clothes all looked flat, and the color wasn't popping, which is weird for Dolby Vision and HDR10. But it was only in a couple scenes. A lot of the night scenes looked amazing, which is weird. So I'm guessing it's more to do with the lighting of the actual scenes, but it's weird that they couldn't clean that up. And it's only in a couple scenes, but I just want to make note of it because it really stuck out to me, especially in those 2 scenes. Other than the visuals, which I do think are definitely an upgrade, especially from an old Blu-ray that you might have, definitely worth the upgrade, unless you do have that 4K, because I don't think it's that much worth the upgrade. But the audio, it is the same audio track, but it is a great audio track. It's Dolby Atmos and it's compatible with Adobe 7.1. So if you do have that capabilities, it's available on here. It's also got Dolby in a bunch of different other languages, such as French and Dutch. So if you do speak other languages, you get plenty of audio tracks that you get to choose from. but I watched this on the Dolby Atmos track last night, and it is perfect. It's a really good Dolby Atmos track. That is probably the shining feature of this entire set, and this is a summer blockbuster from the 90s, so it is loud. It's going to make good use of your rears, it's going to make good use of your woofer, it's going to make good use of your fronts. I really do think this is a great Atmos track. This is not a movie that's a sleeper as far as audio goes, so you're really going to be glad that you have that. And then as far as extras, which I'm usually a big stickler for because I'm a big guy who wants a retrospective, you don't really get anything on that. They're really just promoting that. Barry Sonnenfeld is doing like a new interview looking back on this movie, and a lot of the production design, they're talking all about that. That's the only real new add-ons to this, but they're promoting it like it's a big deal, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I would have liked to have interviews with Tommy Lee Jones or Will Smith or Vincent D'Onofrio because I would have liked to get their thoughts, but we only get really Barry Sonnenfeld, and it's a little disappointing, I'm going to be completely honest with you, but it is what it is, and maybe in another 5 years we'll get something where everybody gets to look back on it. But that brings me to packaging. So I was excited for the Steelbook. I like the design of it, and you know what? The VHS for this is something that really sticks out in my head. It had that hologram cover. I remember seeing that on an end cap in either late 97 or early 98 at Hollywood Video. That will stick out. It is seared into my mind, so I always will think of that. That's the cover I always want. It looked very similar to this cover. It was just black. So I was like, okay, this looks pretty good. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not blown away by this design. I wish I was. It's okay. It's passable, but I think we've gotten spoiled lately with Studio Canal and Lionsgate doing the slipcover 4K Steelbooks, and this is just it's pretty plain. I mean, this artwork is nice. I'm not gonna lie, I do like it, and I like that it's burnt into the actual cover, but it just didn't blow me away. I'm glad I have it, but it didn't blow me away. And then another disappointing thing, if you go on the inside, you get the 2 discs, but if you look, you get the plain inside. Usually I like it when they do artwork on the interior, but they just went with like a plain blue, which I'm even surprised they did that. That just feels very generic, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed with how this 4K Steelbook design looked. But overall, it's not that bad as far as an entire package, but it is running for $27 right now. And like I just said, with Studio Canal and Lionsgate, what they're doing, they usually re-release old scans for $19.99, and they're much better looking with a lot more extras because Studio Canal did the work, and this is Columbia and Sony, so it's a main studio release, and I'm a little disappointed. It feels a little bit like a cash grab. If you can get this on sale, that's the best way I would recommend it. So overall, I'm going to give the entire package, I'm going to give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. This is one of my favorite films. The film itself is amazing. The overall 4K Blu-ray package is pretty good. The box art, design of the box is not that great. The audio is definitely 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 8+. That's the shining star of this. If I have to, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it is the greatest. Somehow find this on sale for $19.99. I think that's the best way to grab it. I think it's worth it at that price point. If you're new to the channel, it's Monday, and that means this is the day that we spin our magic wheel and we pick our digital code giveaway winners. So this week, 2 codes are up for grabs. You get your choice of all these digital codes that you're going to see flashing on your screen right now. Whichever one of those you want, you get to pick when you win, if you are the lucky winner. And this week, we're going to have 2 lucky winners. So let's spin this magic wheel and find out who those 2 lucky winners are. Hey. Andrew GG, that's our first winner, Andrew GG. Alright, we're going to spin it again and find out who our second winner is, but we're going to remove Andrew first, obviously, so he doesn't win again. And let's do this again. The Destroyer! Alright, congratulations Andrew GG and the Destroyer. You guys are our lucky winners. So if you are new to this, both of you guys, if you guys are both new or you've just been hanging around and you haven't seen this part of the video, this is how it works. Just email us at either letstalkentmt@gmail.com, or you could hit us up on our social media such as Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Just direct message us, tell us who you are, and tell us what digital code you would like. Now, the first person who gets to me gets first choice, so if they pick it and it's off the board, we'll let you know. Also, if there's something you think we might have, feel free to ask us, because we might have it, and we'll give it to you. This happened a couple weeks ago with Everything Everywhere All at Once. The winner chose that, even though it wasn't on the board or the graphics. They just asked if we had it. We had it. We gave it to them. That's how this works. And at this point, at the time of this recording, we have 498 subscribers to our YouTube channel. Once we hit 500, we are going to be doing our giveaway for the Godfather 4K trilogy. We'll have an individual video about that, explaining how you enter that contest. It's really simple, but just look out for that video. It'll be out either today or tomorrow. We're only 2 subscribers away, so as soon as it's up, check it out and find out how you can enter to win that. It's pretty simple. But guys, as always, thank you so much for being here with another episode of Let's Talk. It really means the world to us. All your support lately has really helped us out, helped us grow the community. We love you guys. Thank you so much for helping us out here on this channel. And as always, nothing helps us out more than by you liking, sharing, and subscribing, and telling all your friends.